Some presentations to present this evening, so we'll start a couple minutes early and do the presentations. And Carl, you're up first, so whenever you are your people here, you are the closest to the microphone, so
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. We appreciate y'all giving us a little bit of time of your night to hand out a few awards. I'm going to turn it over to JB. He works closely with this group, and I'm going to let him hand out the awards. But before we do that, I guess I'll let Mr. Ward read the certificate of what it says.
On the spot.
So this is a certificate of appreciation from Walton County and Walton County Emergency Management in grateful recognition of your outstanding dedication, leadership, and volunteer service to the Walton County Citizens Corp Council. Your commitment to training, preparedness, and community engagement strengthens our ability to respond to emergencies, serve our citizens with excellence, and your servant leader mentality and dedication to the safety and well-being of Walton County exemplify the highest standards of volunteerism and civic responsibility. Through your leadership, you empower others, foster resilience, and make a lasting impact on our community. With deep appreciation, we extend our sincere gratitude to your invaluable contributions. Presented this third day of June 2025.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, thank you for, Chairman, I appreciate the time to recognize a group of individuals that honestly don't get a whole lot of recognition, but they deserve it and they don't ask for it. So I'd like to identify them just as a group of folks that really exemplify volunteerism and charity in this community. I think all of us probably would be happy to help in a crisis, but this group represents an organization that takes it a whole lot further. This is the Walton County Citizen Corps Council. These folks are representatives from the leadership arm of several groups of volunteer organizations, and I just want to make sure that they're getting a little bit of a shout out as they go forth, and they receive a lot of training in order to help us, and they're a valuable asset to us in terms of being able to respond to our biggest disasters. So I'm going to I'll identify which groups they belong to as I give these out. Not here is the council chairperson, Julie DeVries. I'll get hers to her later. Mr. Hugo Brian Porter, vice chair. He's a great counsel in our leadership and being able to kind of keep things on track. Mr. Russ Tripp is the council treasurer, and he spends countless hours of his own time making sure that this group is well funded. And I might mention that this is a self-funded, doesn't cost the taxpayers directly any money. They are self-funded, and he's actually just gone some great lengths to get some grant funding to outfit these folks with some pretty substantial equipment. His wife, Dana Tripp, the council secretary, who I don't think without her the tracks would stay under the train under this thing. She keeps us organized. Mr. Brad Stanley. Mr. Brad Stanley is a coordinator and represents the Citizen Emergency Response Team, otherwise known as CERT. These folks receive a lot of training in various aspects of emergency response, from search and rescue to just civic leadership and being able to augment the personnel that we don't have enough of anytime that there's a major disaster. Mr. Mike Califf is the coordinator for the Amateur Radio Emergency Services Group. These individuals dedicate a lot of time to training and a lot of their own expertise and their own equipment to maintain redundancy in our communications and the ability to maintain a network should anything ever happen to our communications network. So they're a sigh of relief whenever we know that there's risk to any of our communications. Mr. Frank Hobbs represents our Skywarn group, who kind of integrates to some degree with the radio guys in maintaining a group of individuals that are well trained in being able to identify weather patterns and be able to assist the National Weather Service in confirming some of the stuff that we try to make sure that the community is getting warning of. Mr. Bill Ayers is not here tonight. I'd like to recognize him for being past leadership and consistent counsel and being able to kind of keep some of these folks aware of how the history of the organization and the bylaws are organized there. Ms. Carla Batchelor who I think makes training a full-time job, to be honest with you. She represents the Medical Reserve Corps here, and which focuses a lot on medical response, emergency medical care, mass care, and some of the aspects of how volunteers can get organized in that aspect of disaster response. Ms. Dee Dee DeMarks also represents the American Red Cross, as well as Mr. Ayers. They both represent the Red Cross. And that's all the individuals I have awards for here tonight, but I would like to recognize that there are a lot of people in our community that are part of CERT, ARES, and some of the Skywarn, some of the other groups that I don't have enough paper here to recognize them all. But there's a lot of folks out here who really exemplify our value in volunteerism.
You gotta have your picture made.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you very much so.
Thank y'all. Ronnie Oman.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank y'all for letting us come tonight. I've got an employee we want to recognize tonight. He's one of our supervisors. And Josh Mobley, he's been over with us for 8 years now. And first started out on the med unit as a paramedic and then now as a supervisor. But last year, Josh attended a leadership class put on by GEMSA, which is the Georgia Emergency Medical Services Association. And they do a lot of different classes, a lot of leadership classes. And this class was spread out over a year, and he went at different times and went to different locations around the state and also to the different colleges in the state. They had a lot of different instructors, people from the EMS industry. This class emphasizes leadership skills, teaches leadership skills, and it may beep in it. Values such as character, good character, integrity, trust, respect, communication skills, just to name a few, and all these are important, very important as a leader. The class allowed students to meet with each other, EMS people from all around the state, and they were able to fellowship, learn from each other, and hear their issues from other different parts of the state. And we all have the same issues in one way or the other, the same challenges all over the state of Georgia. They met with and heard from state and local officials and got to voice their opinions and concerns about different issues concerning the EMS. So Josh come back with a lot of ideas and suggestions already, which we appreciate. We support Josh in his efforts and appreciate him as an employee. We wish him well and hope that he is around for a long, long time. And he's just a young fella, so that'd be several more years, and I hope that he will stick with us. Tonight, when he graduated his class, he received a plaque and at their ceremony that they had. And tonight, I want to present him with a certificate. It's not as nice as his plaque was, but it just tells how much that we appreciate him and also his achievement. So I'm going to present that now to Josh Mobley and hope that he realizes how much we do.
Okay, this time I'm going to ask everyone to, we'll open the meeting and do the Pledge of Allegiance and then the invocation after that. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, thank you so much for all the many blessings that you've bestowed on us, and please watch over us tonight and help us to make the right decisions for the county. Please be with each one of us and everyone here as we leave, and keep us safe. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we call the meeting to order and roll call from visible. Everyone is in attendance. And you have your agenda in front of you. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? I'll make a note that the proclamations was not, should not be in there. There are no proclamations. We delete that from the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve with that one deletion.
We got a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. All right, under discussion, the county manager's report and update.
Okay, I've got a couple of project updates for you, as well as some other things involving dates. Hank in Facilities has provided an update that the livestock barn at the Ag Center is mostly complete. It's just remaining with some gutter work. The access road from the park into the Grubbs property has been completed and reworked so that we can avoid conflict with the neighbors. The Walnut Grove Sports Complex, that's moving along quite well and on time. We have required the roofing contractor to be recalled here at the historic courthouse to do some additional work on the roof under warranty. Moving forward, pickleball courts at Ayers Park. The fencing is about 50% complete, and we're looking at making it available to the public around mid to late June. And in the Nowell gyms, the pickleball indoor courts, they're moving forward. They've been able to complete one of the gyms, and they're now working on the second one there. We also have Station 13 Fire Department remodel. The project is complete there with new garage door openers, replace the HVAC and the bay heating. And then finally, the contractor installing the roof at fire stations 4, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 14. They all have been completed with their re-roofs as authorized by the County Commission. Keep Walton Beautiful. They have received the 2024 Governor's Circle and the Keep America Beautiful President's Circle Award due to their efforts that they have in their department and all the programs that they have going on. In water, we now have 18,163 customers. We are the 16-inch line that's installed on Azora Church Road and Highway 81. The contractor that installed that did find a leak, and they've been able to go back, and they're now working on the pressure test. We're also hosting a meeting tomorrow with DOT after our contribution of over $1 million at Azora Church Road and our contribution down at Walnut Grove. We have notified the department that the additional projects that they plan on Highway 20, we would need additional assistance to be able to move forward, and the local funds have been tapped out. So we're working with them to make sure that they understand their projects up and down Highway 20 will need additional state funds moving forward with that. And just for the public's knowledge, anytime the county has utilities inside a DOT or state right-of-way, when the DOT decides that they're going to do a project there, the county's required to fund the relocation of utilities, and those are the projects that we're dealing with on that. And we've had quite a few DOT projects which are putting a good bit of stress on the water department budget. Center Hill Church Road, that project is, it's a new 16-inch water line being installed there, and it's progressing quite well. We wanted to announce too that as part of our reimbursement, we are receiving this year $59,668.21 in wellness fund reimbursements from the insurance carrier due to our contract with them and the work that the Human Resources does in order to monitor our wellness program. Part of that is that that reimbursement also includes new logo glasses that were being passed out to all employees, and we've provided one, and no tax dollars at all were used for that project. It also coincides with the Walton County Extension is just promoting a month-long program of encouraging more people to drink more water for health purposes too. So just wanted to point that program that they've got going on there. Board of Tax Assessors. They're in the process of finalizing the digest, and where that really does come into play is that, I'll give you some dates. Just this last edition, we had an opinion piece that popped up in the Walton Tribune that stated that the millage rate had already been set. That's inaccurate. It hasn't been set. The Walton County Commission hasn't voted on a millage rate yet. And one of the reasons they haven't done that is that we're legally required to notify the public of the public hearing dates for that and print a public notice in the local legal organ, which is the Walton Tribune. So none of that had been done, so therefore it couldn't have been legally accomplished. And it was just inaccurately reported there. So we're working with them to make sure that we get that clarified, but we are moving forward, and every year that the council has, or commission has done this, the adoption of the millage rate occurs in August. And I've worked with the finance department, and we're looking at July 28th at 11 o'clock, July 28th at 6 o'clock, August 5th at 5 o'clock, and then those will all be public hearings concerning the millage rate. And then the board meeting will be on August 6th, and that will be the day there will be a planned adoption of a millage rate to go with the budget that was adopted. And as you know, we've got a legal requirement to have a balanced budget moving forward. So those are theirs. There's also some recommendations in that opinion piece that outline some suggestions of what we may be able to do to clarify and cover some of the reasons for the increase in the upcoming budget. I'm not sure where that was missed, but that was all done during the budget hearing process, where we compared the last year's expenses, the new requests for each department, and we went department by department, and we covered all of that during those budget hearings. Also, an additional date, we were going to be having an event on the 27th, but we will also be scheduling public tours of the new sheriff's office and jail on June 28th. We will share that time. It's at 350 Georgia Avenue, but we will have the facility ready on that date for public tours for anybody interested to come out and take a tour of the new public safety facility. Also, just wanted to let the commission know that we've installed additional security cameras in the main lobby in the parking lot at Animal Control, and that's due to some ongoing issues just security-wise that are going on in that facility. Finally, wanted to announce, and everything hasn't been finalized because the BB team still has to shoot, but the Walton County Air Rifle team has, they placed first in the state, and as you know, they practice at Criswell. They had the first first place individual in the state and the third place individual in the state. And they're going to shoot in both Ohio and then Nebraska, I believe, moving forward in the next month. And also the Walton County shotgun team. They did really well. The fourth and final state match was one of these past weekends. Junior, first individual in the state. Junior, second individual in the state. Junior team, first place in the state. Senior individual, second. Senior, first place individual and master. Senior team placed second place. And the big one was the first place senior team won the state shotgun competition, with all four mastering and all four going to the nationals in Nebraska. So we've had a really good showing with our shooting sports program throughout Walton County. And that's probably not the end of it, because we also have one heck of a BB team that usually goes on to nationals as well. So just wanted to report some of those accomplishments by those groups. Clarify, the millage rate hasn't been adopted yet, and we're still working on the budget. The digest has to be set before the millage rate can be set. And that's often a little bit confusing, but as we move forward with the process, that's kind of what we're working on. The Walnut Grove Park, that project, the jail, and the water treatment plant, the three largest projects in Walton County's history, are all underway at the same time. And just for clarification, we only broke ground a few weeks ago, but they're already ahead of schedule on the water treatment plant, and that's total paid for out of the enterprise fund and user fees and not tax dollars. The other two are tax funded, but just for clarification on both the Walton County Public Safety Complex and the Walnut Grove Park, it has come back that there's a good bit of discussion and some misunderstandings about change orders. Those change orders that have been completed all are within budget and have not increased the overall budget. There were some additions early on at the Public Safety Complex, but none of the change orders have made any impact to that project or the Walnut Grove project being over budgeted funds that were originally approved by the commission. So just for clarification there, because I think there must have been some kind of misunderstanding about that, and just wanted to make some clarification to that. But other than that, that's the update I have for you tonight.
Thank you very much. Any questions for John?
You might have already said it. Did you say the Walton County, the Walnut Grove Sports Complex will be online for this fall to start?
Yeah, Jody's shooting for, what we're planning on doing is having a partial opening of the softball side of the complex while the remainder of the complex is being completed. And that's still our goal as we move forward, because right now it looks like we'll be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully that'll take some pressure off of West Walton as well.
Any other questions? Thank you, John. Moving on to planning and development. And just an announcement before Sharna gets started, we're going to change up, and I'm going to ask our county attorney to conduct the public hearings on this, and then turn it back over to the board for a motion. So.
Okay, 6.1 is conditional use 25-0120. This is a conditional use for outside storage. The applicant and owners are Thomas Allen and Susan Atha. Property is located at 5395 Highway 20 and McCullers Road. This is in District 2. So I'm going to put up the... Okay, there was some opposition, not a lot, but there was some opposition at the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission did recommend approval with the following conditions. Only empty dumpsters to be on site, no transfer station allowed, no cleaning of dumpsters on site, only C&D dumpsters can be used, no more than 30 dumpsters stored on site at a time, no dumpsters can be removed past 7 p.m., and the working hours to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, at this time, we're going to open the public hearing on this matter, but first, I want to just go through the general ground rules for these public hearings. So when you come to the podium, please state your name and address. Please direct your comments directly to the board. And please keep in mind that each side will be given a total of 10 minutes. There will be a timer that you can see up there. If the applicant doesn't use all 10 minutes, then the remaining time can be reserved for rebuttal. For those in opposition speaking, again, there's going to be a total of 10 minutes. So please be respectful of your neighbor who might also want to be heard. So don't use all the time, and don't repeat your same comments over and over, because that takes time away from others that would like to be heard as well. So with that, we'll open the public hearing on this first matter. Would the applicant like to come forward and address the board?
I'm Alan Atha, representing the property. Is asking for approval for the variance for storage, outside storage. And all I want to say is, if I accepted the variances as the board recommended, and that's what I'll follow.
Any questions for the applicant at this time? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this application? Seeing none, is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, are there any questions from the board? Entertain a motion?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'd take a motion to approve along with the Planning Commission recommendations.
We have a motion to approve as recommended.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. Okay, Sharna.
All right, case 6.2 is Z25-0148. This is a request to rezone 2 acres from A2 to B3 for a towing company and vehicle storage. Applicant is Jody Whitlock. Owner is Jody and Ted Whitlock. Property is located at 3275 Broadneck Mill Road. This is in District 1. There was no opposition, and the Planning Commission recommended approval with a condition that there be evergreen plantings around the perimeter. I'll bring up this site plan.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on this matter. Would the applicant like to come forward and address the board?
Hello, I'm Ted Whitlock. We're just going to use a facility for storing wrecked vehicles so that when the insurance company can make arrangements to come and pick them up. So they're not going to sit there forever. Thank you.
Any questions for the applicant at this time?
What kind of fencing will be around this property?
8-foot fence.
Any other questions?
And you're comfortable with the evergreen requirement around
Yes.
the perimeter?
Yes, and we also have the slats in the fence, because they're building new houses next door to us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this rezone? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt as recommended by the Planning Commission.
We have a motion to adopt as recommended.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, next case 6.3 is Z25-0153. Rezone 7.52 acres from A1 to A for a commercial kennel. And they're also asking for a variance on this one. The owner and applicant is Michelle Brooks. Property is located at 689 Jean Bell Road. This is in District 6. There was no opposition, and the Planning Commission recommended approval as submitted.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on this matter. Would the applicant like to come forward and address the board?
Hi, Michelle Brooks. Commercial kennel is kind of a strange word to me because my dogs live in my home. Actually don't have outdoor kennels for them. They actually live in the house. So I just wanted to say that there's no kennels being built or anything like that.
Any questions for the applicant at this time?
Shauna, is it okay to have the dogs in the house when it's considered a commercial kennel?
It is.
It is? Okay.
You raise them, sale, right? Yes. So actually, the reason it's considered a commercial kennel is because she raises them and sells them.
Okay.
So she's not like a kennel that we normally would see.
I got you.
But the guidelines are the same.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant at this time? Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this rezone request? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition? Please come forward, sir.
Hello, my name's Nathan Clodfelter. I own the property at 765 Jean Bell Road, which butts up against, to the back property. I am opposed, but I may be able to be swayed. So my concern here, I think she had put in here, and the questions were brought up, that can we maybe box this in and say, look, if you approve it this way, it can't be used for other commercial applications, if it can just be isolated to the kennel. And also my concern is, would it be like 20 or 30 boarded animals? She puts in here that that's not the intent. Is there any way to say, look, as long as you're doing what you've described here, I think there should not be an opposition, but is that possible, is what my question is.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the board in opposition? Seeing none, would the applicant like to address anything that was stated?
So this is a private residence, and the dogs live in my home. The yard is completely fenced with new fencing years ago. They don't get out. There's no intention at all of boarding or doing anything like that. It's just strictly my dogs and a couple of litters a year, and those puppies being rehomed.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions at this time for the applicant? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. I got one question of Sharna. Can it be rezoned for her use?
Condition, we would prefer that you do that when we ask for a rezone to A.
Okay. All right. All right, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I make a motion we approve this per the commission recommendation with the condition that it's, first of all, only be for the commercial kennel operation, the variance be approved, and that there will be no boarding condition to address his concern.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have 2 seconds. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, 6.4 is conditional use 25-0157 and rezone Z250158. The request is to rezone 1 acre from A1 to B2 for minor auto repair and conditional uses for outside storage. They're asking for a variance to reduce the transitional buffer on the easterly side from 50 foot to 25 foot. The applicant is Michael Greenlee. The owner is Emily Jamshedi. The property is located at 5495 Highway 20 on Lance Court. This is in District 2. At the Planning Commission, there was no opposition. The Planning Commission recommended approval with conditions that there be fencing and evergreens around the property, proper lighting inward and downward, fencing to be kept in good repair, and if the evergreens die, they will be replaced in a timely manner.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on this matter. Would the applicant like to come forward and address the board?
Good evening. I'm Mike Greenlee with Travis Pruitt and Associates, an engineering firm, and we represent the owner on this property. There's not a whole lot additional to add to it. We've developed a general site plan. This land use will be servicing as storage, initially outdoor storage. There's an existing residence on the property, former residential residence. And the plan is to demolish that and build this outdoor parking lot, similar to what was done down at the corner of Lance Court a year or so ago. And so the plan is, with the outdoor storage requirement, we have to have fencing and landscaping on the outside perimeter for screening. We're proposing that. We were talking about before the meeting, and there are some older growth trees out there that we'd like to maintain and keep those, maybe mix those in with the buffer, and I'm thinking we can do that during the plans review process, try and save some of the bigger trees that are out there if we can. But everything else in the future, the plan is to come in on the left side of the screen here and build a building that would be in sort of a by right kind of use for the zoning that we're asking for here. And that building would be used for automotive minor repairs and maintenance, which is allowed in the zone. So that's kind of our plan at this point. We've got stormwater on the back. And the reason we're asking for that reduction is there is a cell towers and some storage out there right now. It's not likely to be, it's zone B or zone A1/B2 back there, but it's not, I think the likelihood of that being developed as housing is pretty unlikely. So they're similar uses. So I was originally going to ask for no buffer, but I know that probably wouldn't fly. So we're just asking for a reduction at this point. That's it.
Thanks, sir. Any questions for the applicant at this time? All right. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this request? Seeing none, is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion if there's no more questions from the board.
Yes, sir. I would make a motion to approve as submitted.
We have a motion to approve as submitted.
With the conditions?
With the conditions, yes, sir.
With the conditions.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, next, 6.5 is amendments to the Walton County Land Development Ordinance. And do you want me to just do these one at a time?
It's up to you. If there's, it probably makes sense to do them one at a time, or cover them all and then vote one at a time, however the board wants to do it.
I'm comfortable with them all, but might need to do them one at a time, just.
Might keep it cleaner.
Okay, so amendment number 1 is an amendment to Chapter 18, Article 2, Occupation Taxes, Section 18.33, to remove the amount of the fee. A couple of these are actually just removing the fees if they're listed as a number, so that it just is going to reflect that the fee is per the fee schedule adopted by the board. And we're doing this, John asked us to, to go through our ordinances and find where we have specific amounts located in the ordinance and take them out, just reflect that they'll be.
So when it's updated, they all get updated at the same time.
And that way our ordinance is always correct.
This will be the first of the departments that'll be bringing these forward, because these embedded fees sometimes get overlooked. fee schedule will allow us to take it as part of the budget process year by year and look at fees each and every year.
All right.
So that's the first one.
Sharna, is that second one related?
It is. The second one is
I would
also
suggest then to
removing-
go ahead and keep,
Amendment
do
number
these
2
together, yeah.
is also a part of Chapter 18, Article 3, and it is also to remove the fee amount,
Okay.
1 and 2.
So would you like to go ahead and do the public hearing on those two?
We can.
All right. All right, would anyone like to speak on these two proposed amendments that were outlined by Sharna? Or we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, entertain a motion from the board on Amendment 1 and Amendment 2.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
We got a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, amendment number 3 is an amendment to Article 5, Part 5.1. Article 5 is our permitted use section, and we are going to add personal care services. That is something that has not been in there. That covers like a beauty shop, a nail salon. There's a lot of other things that would fall under that we've just had to kind of, we put them in B2 and B3 or whatever, but this is to add that as a use that's listed in there, listed in the permitted use section.
Okay, any questions from the board?
All right, we'll open the public hearing on that proposed amendment. Is there anyone here who would like to be heard? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion on Amendment number 3.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Unanimous. Amendment number 4.
Okay, I probably should have made that amendment number 3 because it's also to do with the fees. This is an amendment to Article 6, Section 6-1-110, the airstrip and helipad private. This is where we added that annual fee for them to register, and we listed the fee in there, so we're just removing that fee from the ordinance. It'll still be on the fee schedule, but it will be out of the ordinance as an amount.
Okay. You can go ahead and have,
I'll move to approve.
Well, we need to
we gotta
open a
have
quick public hearing. Anybody want to be heard on that issue? All right, we're good now.
Okay. Entertain that motion now.
Move to approve.
We got a motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, amendment number 5 is an amendment to Section 4, Article 4, Section 4-2-170. This is regarding the Cornish Creek, Beaver Dam Creek watershed, and the Hard Labor Creek watershed. And basically, all we're doing here is there's a lot of wording in the ordinance about what kind of development you can do in the Hard Labor Creek watershed that really matches the OSC. And actually, when we made changes to the OSC about amenities and what was the other thing that we changed? Lot size and all, this would make it comply with OSC. The open space, where all the open space could be floodplain. This would make it match an OSC, and it would just be easier for anybody that's reading our ordinance to understand that instead of following these guidelines, you just refer to the OSC guidelines.
Yield would still be 2
still be.
acres.
Yes. Yes, sir. Wouldn't change that.
All right, any questions for Sharna? Anybody in the audience like to be heard on this amendment? And we'll close the public hearing.
Okay, entertain a motion from the board.
I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, number 6.6, right-of-way acceptance in Arrington Woods subdivision. And this just is for the record, accepting the right-of-way in the subdivision for the record.
That does not require public hearing, so I entertain a motion to accept the right-of-way of Arrington Woods subdivision.
I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Okay, the next one's mine too, under number 7, resolutions. 7.1, adoption resolution, the capital improvement element annual update. You guys recommended approval of the transmittal a couple months ago. We have transmitted that. It has been approved by DCA, and this is your resolution to adopt.
And we do need to have a public hearing on that, correct? All right, would anybody like to be heard on the capital improvements element annual update? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. Okay, we got some budget amendments to this year's existing budget.
The first one is for the sheriff's, is a budget amendment to transfer budgeted but unused funds from equipment 54.2500 in the amount of $77,000 to increase expenditures for vehicles 54.2200 in the amount of $77,000. This was approved during the May 6th board meeting. This transfer would neither increase nor decrease fund balance. And then the next two on the items was also approved during the May 6th board meeting, but the first one would be to increase the personnel line items in the amount of $2,013,176, increase small equipment in the amount of $17,862.50, and increase the line item for uniforms in the amount of $58,200. This amendment would result in a decrease in the fund balance. And then we've got EMS SPLOS. This would be coming out of SPLOS funds. A proposed amendment to increase budget expenditures for equipment in the amount of $180,712. And this is for an ambulance box. And this amount would result in a decrease in the fund balance. And then lastly, we got Water Department, a proposed budget amendment to transfer budgeted but unused funds from equipment in the amount of $4,000 to increase expenditures for vehicles in the amount of $4,000. This transfer will neither increase nor decrease fund balance.
Okay. Any questions on these budget amendments? Entertain a motion to approve these budget amendments.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Go ahead and get it to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. And the last item, 7.3, we do every year to authorize the chairman as part of the fiscal year closing process to amend the budget as other small items come up. We'll need a motion for that.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve. We got a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Okay, we have ordinance amendment.
The first ordinance amendment involves rules and regulations for Hard Labor Creek Reservoir. In that original, it cited a link that is no longer active. So this is just updating that and making the rules and regulations a part of the actual written part of the ordinance.
Okay, any questions?
That's being provided to both the Sheriff's Department and the DNR to assist in enforcement of the rules and regulations on the reservoir.
All right. Entertain a motion for this ordinance amendment.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? passes unanimous. The ordinance amendment, polling places. I understand we hadn't updated the polling places in some time.
This is an update under current state law just to recognize that the Board of Elections will be selecting the polling places and that they will be posted online and advertised as such, and it eliminates the need to come back. You're just giving the Board of Elections the authority to do that, which they've been doing.
Okay, any questions on this one? Entertain a motion to approve this amendment.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimous. All right, before you is administrative consent agenda. You have your minutes from the May 6th meeting, all the purchases of $25,000 or greater, the surplus declaration of vehicles. We have some uncollectible taxes that we have to write off that the tax commissioner cannot collect, either due to them leaving the state, going out of business. A lot of it's on equipment and stuff, and then you got your water charge offs of people that Marsh couldn't collect the water bills on. And you've got your rental agreement with the Department of the Navy for the night vision equipment for the sheriff's office. And we got a donation from Deputies Beyond the Badge to the Sheriff's Department of an armored vehicle, and a request to surplus and transfer multi-purpose K-9 Sheriff's Office. Are there any one of those that you want picked out and discussed, or if not, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'm making a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We got a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. The contracts, John, you want to explain the?
I'm going to ask Ben to fill in on this one.
All right, Ben? 10.1 CGI Digital Agreement.
So that first one will be with CGI Digital. It'll be for their Community Showcase video program. It's a company that goes around for local municipalities, and they produce videos to show off the municipalities, basically. It's 1 6-minute video on any topic that we feel particularly proud of in Walton County, for the purposes of, one, revitalizing the website and making it a much more friendly experience, and two, it'll help with our ongoing recruiting efforts for EMS and other departments around the county. The best part about it is that CGI is assuming all costs for it. It will be much like the digital sign at Meridian Park, and it'll be fully funded by ad revenue.
So it doesn't cost us.
Doesn't cost a dime.
Motion to approve.
Second.
They don't come around very often, do they? All right, we got a motion and a second, and all those in, Jeremy Adams, I think.
I second it.
Dixon, second.
Oh, Dixon, okay, Jeremy made the motion.
Right.
There we go. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? And this AT&T master agreement, upgrade E911 equipment and software, that's commonplace. We constantly, what's the cost of it? Who's here to speak to that?
I'm going to go way out on a limb here, but I believe this is concerning, if the board will remember, several months ago, we approved the purchase of NX70 walkie-talkies for the sheriff's office. Those new devices, which are going to solve communications issues in the schools and everything else, have Wi-Fi and cellular capability. And the cart kind of got put before the horse a little bit. We got the radios ordered, and updating the consoles and the hardware structure at the 911 center came a little behind it. I do not remember the dollar figure that was associated with that. But that's what's got to be put in place for us to use these new radios that we'll be issuing out soon. Apologize for not having that exact dollar amount.
They're looking for that. Do you want to go ahead and do the next one, Chairman? David, while they're finding that number, you want to skip down to the next one and come back?
We can. Be looking at that number, we will skip this and go to the mutual aid agreement with Rockdale County and Walton County Fire. This is, we have mutual aid. Chief, you want to make a statement on that one?
Good afternoon, Chairman Board. All this is just an update. We've already got an auto mutual aid auto agreement with them. This is just updating, getting current signatures. And in a nutshell, it don't cost anything. Liability is for their people is on them. Our liability for our people is on us. It's just that dead area right there around Miller Bottom area.
And we've responded with them, and they've responded with us on stuff.
Need a motion to approve?
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Can you find it? I looked at,
We're going to need to wait on that one. I'm not comfortable with you recommending signing a contract if I don't have a price associated.
I'm not either.
The county attorney has not finished.
I'll make a motion, we table it.
We're going to have to table that one.
We got a motion to table it.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I'll say we table it, but it looks like year one is $21,509.14. Then in 2026, there's a similar fee, 27 and 28. So it's updating the cost up to 2020.
And it updates all the new radios to,
It updates the 911 center to work with those new radios, Mr. Chairman, but we'll get you the exact, I believe those are the exact numbers, but we need to verify that before we present it to the board.
well, can the board give me authority to, pending the county attorney's approval of the contract?
We looked at the contract itself. I think we negotiated some language back and forth, but obviously, we're dealing with the legal terms, not the pricing. But the numbers that he's quoted you are, that sounds familiar to me, that we're talking something in the $20-something thousand range per year.
I'm looking at the exact contract, and again, it's $21,509.14.
All right,
This year.
we never called a vote on
I withdraw my motion.
All right, and now do we have a motion to approve this? You rescinded the tabling, right, Kurt?
Yeah, I withdrew the motion. Need to withdraw the second, right?
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I make a motion to approve this contract, provided those numbers are accurate.
Okay,
Second.
we got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. I want to make this comment before our public speaker that's written down come up. This is the first time I've sat in this chair. It might be because the county attorney held the public meetings, but everything got approved unanimously all the way through, so kudos. Is Mr. John Alderman here? Please come forward. It's time for our public comment.
And sir, you'll have 3 minutes to speak, and there's a timer up there, so you'll know how much time you...
My name is John Alderman. We live at 70 Old Highway 81 Southeast, Oxford, mailing address, down from Walnut Grove. I'm here today because I come from a background in the Navy, a nuclear supervisor in submarines, have an extensive engineering education in the Navy, and I'm concerned also because under the laws of the state of Georgia, as I was taught when I came out of the Navy, when I got my professional license, professional engineers and conditioned air contractors have to give witness if they see anything dangerous. If they don't do that, they're held accountable. So I'm telling you about something now. I am very much concerned about building on granite. We've already had a granite problem in Loganville that cracked and carbon tetrachloride cleaning fluid went down in it, causing a lot of grief, and I believe it's a Superfund project. A little back up a little bit. When I came out of the Navy for a while, I was the NBC professional, if you will, at Region 4 US EPA, and it was my responsibility for 10 states with such things as this, including Valley of the Drums and Brickyard. Brickyard was a real headache. So what I have seen is we are building on rock strata, which is granite, and it has a tendency to go cracks vertically. If you build on these vertical cracks with any type of septic system or any type of chemical system, much like in Loganville, it will go down the cracks into the water table and will go miles. You will go outside whatever authority you're at, and you will go into everybody else, or you'll go back, you don't know where it's going. Next door to our location where we live, they built a subdivision where at one time artesian water sprang 4 feet out of the ground. There are now houses. It took 3 months for one house to get a septic tank in because they had to dynamite and drill. Now down from that area to the part of the reaches of Walnut Grove, they're putting in, I've been told, 155 units on rock, and they're all going to have septic tanks, and they're all going to have field lines, and they're all going to have to be put in perhaps by blasting. Now, this can also get down into the groundwater and cause great damage. Now, to make everything even a little more interesting and not use up, I hope, my 3 minutes, I don't have a watch here. Granite, if you haven't been keeping up with the times, granite is a source of something called thorium. It is a new miracle fuel. It's something I'm qualified from the military in molten salt reactors, and it might be one of my phones. And thorium is an alpha emitter. If it's blown into the air, it can go as a dust for some distance depending upon wind conditions. You don't have to panic and start and everything, but it is there. It's an alpha emitter, and if it's inhaled, alpha emitters in the lungs can cause problems. And if they drank in the water, they can cause problems. It has a half-life of 14 billion years. It'll be around forever, which is good if you want to have it around forever to make money with in nuclear power, but if you inhale it or something. So these are problems I'm seeing going on in construction, and I would love to be proved wrong by somebody that would like to be called an expert. I only know what I've been shown in my travels in the Navy, in the civilian world as a non, I don't have to give a bid on contracts to the FAA. They call me and I tell them what I want and how we're going to do it. Same thing with CDC and other agencies, including DARPA. So, you know, I see it like I see it, and I see there's a real problem here. If we go into crack and getting things down into the strata, we're going to have Loganville all over. I just would hope that the county follows. I want to tell you about it. Now, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer it, or however you want to run it. It's your meeting. But I had to get off the hook, if you understand, where Vince Edwards, the chief engineer of Atlanta, and Arthur Marbut, head of DeKalb County, taught me. I hope that's not too many minutes. Huh? You good? Thank you, sir. Just had to do that. Now I'm off the hook legally.
Thank you very much, Mr. John. Anyone have any announcements they'd like to make? I would like to circle back around June 28th. We will have the Sheriff's Administration and the new facility open for public tours. And they'll be occupying it just about the day after that, starting. There's no need for an executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.